Your team sucks. There once was a football team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered you here today to celebrate the life and the passing of the Dallas Cowboys. This once proud franchise has officially come to the conclusion that they suck. There's no more arguments to be had. There's nothing left to say except it's a funeral procession. This team has died, and they're going to have a rebirth at some point in time. It's called, Dallas fans, rebuilding. And you probably don't remember what that's like because you've been flatlining just like this for like the last 20 years. You've never been great. You've never been really bad. You just kind of been like this. Well, guess what? In anything you do, you either go up or you go down. And y'all have gone down. George, you all right? George, tell me how you're feeling right now about your Dallas Cowboys. Luke, kill the music.
I think it's pretty obvious what happened with the Cowboys. They got their heart ripped out. You know, Dak being the heart of the Dallas Cowboys, sitting out, it was exposed. They came in, they came in, try to do what everyone thought they were going to do. They're going to give the ball to Elliott, And what did he do? He put it on the floor twice. They scored 14 points. And then the so-called red rifle, I'm going to start calling him the red squirt gun, couldn't get the ball down the field. He couldn't make throws. And when he finally did make a throw, Gallup drops it in the end zone. It was just pathetic football, both sides of the field. The coaching's bad, playing's bad. They're actually playing with no heart. Literally, everyone has to realize Dak was their heart, and you saw it last week. And I don't know if they're going to come back this year, next year. It's going to look really ugly for the Dallas Cowboys the rest of this year.
Yeah, so, I mean, is there any hope for the rest of this year for Dallas? I mean, they're still in first place, which shows how truly pathetic the NFC East is, how truly embarrassing it is. But is there any hope here? Is there any scenario, any kind of situation you could see here, George, where the Cowboys make the playoffs and actually go on a run and have a decent season? Is there any scenario here?
You got to bring out Mr. Miyagi, and he come out with his hands, rub them together, and stick them on Dak's ankle and bring him back. But that's the only way they're going to come back from any kind of shit. The team is dead. The heart is gone. There's big, big trouble. They'll be lucky to win a game the rest of the season.
So when I watch football, and I've been watching it for a while, I'm an old man like George. You can see what a bad team does. And even with Dak being there, they were a bad football team. And I agree with George. I think Dak was actually carrying them and making them at least respectable. And a lot of people here in Dallas, I live in Dallas, we're talking about, that Dalton's going to be the savior. Well, I disagreed with that wholeheartedly. And where is the star running back that they paid all that money to? Where is he? Where is Ezekiel Elliott? He's fumbling the ball. He's not running hard. I mean, where's the defense? This is embarrassing. This is what a bad football team looks like. Mistakes. They give up big plays. They turn the ball over. This team is on pace to give up more points than any team in the history of the NFL. They are on pace to have more turnovers than any team in the NFL. And this is what happens when your owner makes all these hype picks. Now, y'all love CeeDee Lamb, this and that. I guarantee you a great safety or a great shutdown corner would look really good right now in Dallas. And
it wouldn't have mattered. It's like a deck chair off the Titanic. It really didn't matter what was going to happen. One guy was going to change it. I think they probably went with the better guy right there. It might be better for them going forward. But right now, they weren't going to win it. I mean, if Dak was going to stay healthy, if they could have predicted that he was going to get hurt.
My point is this, is if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, say, versus like the New England Patriots, they paid Ezekiel Elliott all that money, where most people don't do that anymore with running backs. right? They draft, they get a serviceable back, and they have a lot of other players, on the team that help them win. And I think that what's happened in Dallas is they get these big shiny names, they pay them a bunch of money, and they don't have any. There's no depth. You can see the offensive line is decimated right now. There's no depth there, and it's just indicative of a poorly run organization from the top down. And it's all hype, and you see it now. All right, Luke, let me see your shirt, Luke. Let me see it. All right, at least you wore that shirt today, and I gotta respect that. But it is official. What is the name of this show? It's called Your Team Sucks. Luke, your team really, truly sucks. I'm sorry, but it's true. What's up, Luke? Talk to me about the Cowboys.
It sucks. Like, watching that game was terrible. I was disappointed, and it's like they stopped trying after the first quarter. And at the end of the day, I'm still going to represent. I'm a Cowboys fan. I love the team. I want to see them win. But it's terrible just watching them just give up just like that.
But the delusion is over. The delusion has died. That's why we had our funeral procession in the beginning of the show here. The delusion's over. Y'all see what a lot of people have been talking about with this organization for a long time. You see it now, right?
They came out and they said, we're playing this one for Dak. And boy, they did, because no game could have helped Dak more than that one. All right?
Really?
Seriously, that one was for Dak, and that one was to get Dak paid. And they might have just done that because they looked awful. I honestly expected Andy Dalton to come out and do a lot better there. I thought he was a very good, serviceable backup. We didn't see it. It was mistakes all around. You can blame a lot of different things, but when you have penalties, drops, fumbles, bad play calling, I mean, the refs had one bad call in there, but, I mean, there's always going to be one or two. Really, you got to put that on the coach. Really poor coaching, and they didn't come ready to play.
Yeah,
it was ugly.
Listen, here's my philosophy: is any coach that was with a great quarterback and didn't win multiple Super Bowls is probably not that great, because you could have put a lot of coaches with Aaron Rodgers and probably that team, and they probably would have won something. Even though he was a good coach back then, I don't know if he was ever great. But it takes a great coach to come in and turn that thing around and to put it in, going in the right direction. And I don't think he's the guy for the job. I mean, they quit.
Aaron Rodgers said that he had a very low football IQ and he wanted another coach. And everybody said, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers is so difficult. He's difficult to be with." Right. And then he goes to the Cowboys and you're like, wow, we have the coaches with a very, very low football IQ here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think if we switch over and you look at somebody like Adam Gase, as you watch you're watching Aaron Rodgers throw a pick there, right?
Aaron Rodgers completely crumbled himself. They crumbled completely.
But listen, why does Adam Gase still have a job? And I think it's kind of the same reason. He was the offensive coordinator for who?
No, quarterback's coach for Peyton Manning.
Right. No, he's offensive coordinator and for that Denver team. And they won a Super Bowl. And he keeps getting jobs because Peyton Manning keeps making phone calls. It's like, well, you don't have to be a great offensive coordinator or a great coach when you have Peyton Manning on the field changing all your effing plays anyway.
I could have been the coordinator. He changed every play. He called everything at the line. Yeah, that was pathetic.
Don't forget, and I have another example for you. Another proven example that I am right. Joe Philbin. Who was the coach of the Dolphins before Adam Gase? Joe Philbin. And what did he who was he the coach of? Offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers. Thank you very much. Right. These guys have basically leaned on these great quarterbacks and had decent seasons, and you had one great season in Green Bay. Obviously, they had a great defensive coordinator or somebody there that was leading when they won that. But I think McCarthy has to go. But Jerry's ego is too damn big. He will never fire him this season because he's going to have to admit he was wrong. But when you watch a team quit on the field, and I saw it with the Miami Dolphins and Adam Gase several times. I watched him quit, and it made me sick because I love that franchise. I'm a huge Dolphin fan, and the one thing you never want to see your team do is quit. That is the coach, 100%. He needs to be fired. George, does he stay or should he go?
I mean, he definitely has got to go, but you're right. He's not going to fire him. They should go out there and get Eric Bieniemy and settle everything down over there in Dallas. But they're not going to go out there and do something smart. Go out there and throw all that money you have at Eric Bieniemy and change the whole franchise. Literally, that's what they need.
You gotta maybe tank this year. They're already doing that.
I think they got to go out and just get a coach. They're not going to win any games this year. They're really not. So if they can go out and hire Eric Bieniemy before anybody else does, this is the time.
They're going to win the next game. They're going to beat the Washington football team.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
The line went from 3.5 to.
I'm interested to see if they will.
The gamblers.
I think they should. There's enough talent there.
They will. They'll beat them. It'll be close, but I think they'll actually win that game. But we do our picks on Thursdays. Zach saying,
but I think the Washington football team is a very well coached team with not much talent, whereas Dallas is a very poorly coached team with a lot of talent. So we'll see how it plays out.
So Zach
has a lot of talent on defense.
So Zachary Lane has a comment here, and Zach saying that if the Giants win Thursday, that they're going to win the division. And, it's interesting because I have on our agenda here to talk about who is the best team in the NFC East. And, I mean, you could arguably say it's still the Cowboys, but probably not. I think the Eagles win this division, Zachary, like they always do. They'll find a way in the end to probably squeeze out 7 or 8 wins, which wins that division this year, by the way. This division could be won with 7 wins or 7 or 8 for sure. So, George, who's the best team in this division?
It's easily Philly. You saw last week they took the Ravens all the way down to the end of the game. They were 1 touchdown away from beating them last week. It's definitely Philly. They always start to gel together in midseason and put together a pretty good squad. But right now, there's really not much competition, so they can definitely win the NFC East. I pick Philly.
I think it just might be the Giants. I mean, this is a complete toss-up, right? But that Giants defense is starting to gel right now, and they have a legitimate defense. They're holding some good teams. I was impressed with what they did against the Rams. Offensive weapons, Danny Dimes still likes to turn the ball over a lot, but this is a very, very bad division. And so really everybody's still in it. Philadelphia, I'm not sold on at all. I'm ready to see some Jalen Hurts. And, for now, I'll give it to the Giants until the Cowboys can pull it together. Before last game, it was easily the Cowboys, though. Now I have my doubts.
Luke, I would ask you this question, but I'm pretty sure you're still going to say the Cowboys. Let's see. The delusion meter is officially out right now. Luke, who is the best team in the NFC East?
I mean, if they could just come out and play, I still believe it's the Cowboys.
Listen, everybody.
I'm going to still not give up hope on our division. As far as NFC
I just asked who was the best team in that division, and you're still going, well, if. Yeah. If, yeah. Yeah.
Washington wins out, they're the best team, right? If.
I don't know. It's like whenever the Cowboys have like a tough, pretty much every time I've watched their football games, they've always done good against other NFC East teams. Playing against other AFC teams or other teams that are outside of our division, we get what happened last week or yesterday, but
yeah, the AFC's got a lot better teams this year than the NFC, in my opinion. Let's talk about that. So. Let's talk quite a bit about that. The Bills. Buffalo Bills have lost 2 straight. They got beat pretty good twice in a row. So are the Bills a fluke? Are they for real? George, you have been telling us that they're a fluke from the beginning of the season. So what are you seeing?
I mean, they're just the Buffalo Bills. They exposed their quarterback a little bit last week and this week. I think they're a good, mediocre team. They're just not going to beat any powerhouses. If they make the playoffs, they're going to go out in the first round. They're not a good team.
Jordan?
I think they outperformed expectations at the beginning of the year by a lot. And everybody's, including myself, was thinking that the Bills finally made it. And the truth is they are what we expected them to be. I like the progression of Allen. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders yet. They're not even top 5 yet. It's a copycat league, and they were given the script on how to beat them, which is take away the long ball and make Allen throw accurate passes underneath and work his way upfield.
Exactly right.
They don't have a great run game. And so, once you take away what they want to do, they have yet to be able to show that they can beat you doing other things. It doesn't mean they don't have a lot of talent and they're not progressing. So they are what we expected them to be.
This is why the NFL is so great, is you have such great coaches in this league that they are able to pick teams apart. Happened to Lamar Jackson last year. Josh Allen was balling, but Jordan nailed it. They figured him out. Make him throw intermediate balls and be accurate, and don't let him go down the field. And it's worked 2 weeks in a row. And he had some terrible throws yesterday, which I was really surprised. So, this is what happens. If he doesn't fix that, he's going to be a mediocre quarterback, or you're going to see him taking off and running again like he did, his first couple of years. So, Luke, you have a take here. It's not the Cowboys.
Nah.
Exactly.
When you have really good wide receivers like the Bills do, the deep ball is very forgiving. He's got a big arm, and it's a forgiving deep ball when you got Diggs going down the sideline, and he's probably going to be in single coverage down there, and he can beat out single coverage. You take that away, and he's got to throw in some pretty tight windows, and he's not Mr. Accuracy. That's what everybody said coming out of college when his accuracy rate was under 55%, and he was the first quarterback drafted in the top half of the first round with an accuracy rate so low.
Right. Let's talk a bit about the Texans and the Titans game. That was epic. I don't know if you watch it. It was a great game. The Tennessee Titans are for real. People have to remember they were one game from the Super Bowl last year, and they got beat by Kansas City. I think Ryan Tannehill has been grossly underrated for a long time, and you give him the best running back in the league right now, and their defense is playing pretty good. Texans were game. Texans have some talent over there, but they just don't know how to win football games. I think, Tennessee Titans have a shot to go actually win the Super Bowl again. They were my pick last year. I'm going to pick them again right now. The Tennessee Titans are going to go, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I know I'd pick the Chiefs, but I just think there's something about that team that is just tough. And I think because of the COVID year, it's going to get cold. There's no fans in the stands. If they got to go to Kansas City again, I think they beat them. I think it's just Derrick Henry right down their throat the whole time. George, you got to take on this one?
Yeah, I think they're one player away from being a shit team. I mean, Derrick Henry might be the best running back in the league because he's actually changing the teams. I mean, everyone says running backs are universal, don't pay them, but this kid is actually changing the team. Tennessee fades in the bright lights. You'll see it. They fade in all the bright light games.
They were down by a touchdown, and Tannehill had, I think, a minute and a half to drive them down the field and score a touchdown. Derrick Henry didn't touch the ball one time on that drive. Ryan Tannehill came in, drove them down the field, and they scored a touchdown.
Just to remember who they were playing. They were playing the Texans, who have a horrible defense. A bunch of names they can't stop.
All the time
can't stop a nosebleed.
They
can't stop a nosebleed.
That's true, but they were
put up 50. What was it, like 58-56? The score.
You're
like, these are the best teams. 56-58. Come on.
Well, that's the NFL right now. Everybody's scoring
58 points up to Houston. Come on.
Everybody's scoring a ton of points right now. And by the way, the Texans, what's the Texans record? They're 1-5, 1-6, whatever it is. Miami Dolphins are very, very happy about that, as they're getting the Texans' first and second round pick.
You remind us of that twice a week.
Things do get easier for the Texans moving forward.
We all know that now.
You know who they play next, right?
We got to hear it.
You know who they play next, right?
Miami
play the Green Bay Packers next.
You saw my power rankings. I put Miami in the top 20.
Both coming off losses,
Yeah, no, the Packers are gonna beat the Texans next week. So, it's the NFL is awesome, and that's why we love this show and love to do it. So I'm gonna ask right now, just straight up, who's the best team in the NFL? I asked this, I think 2 weeks ago, and George does power rankings. We're going to talk a bit more about those next Tuesday. He does power rankings every week. He's got the Pittsburgh Steelers as the best team in the NFL right now. I think they're probably top 5. I don't have them as the actual best team. I still think, I think Kansas City's probably still the best team. I know I just picked the Titans to win the Super Bowl, but right now, I think those EFC teams, including the Steelers, are well above anybody in the NFC. What's your take on this, Jordan?
If I had to pick one right now, it would probably be the Chiefs. We've seen them do it before. And while I'm not so sure the Titans aren't fairly game script dependent, I don't know if they could come back from being down 10 or 14 points in the playoffs, but I know the Chiefs can. And so I think the Chiefs are built to make longer playoff runs. I was impressed that the Chiefs scored 26 points on Monday night in the rain. I mean, they're a passing offense, and he was flinging it. I mean, they would have put 50 on him had it not been pouring. I think the Chiefs' defense is coming along. They're a lot better. I'm not worried about the loss. And Zachary Lane says the Seahawks look good. Seahawks are 5-0. I mean, you can't count the Seahawks out. They're finally letting Russell Wilson run the offense he wants and just fling the ball. And those wide receivers look great. They got a couple playmakers on defense. I mean, Seahawks would probably be my number 2 right now.
Seahawks
exactly.
Pittsburgh and Tennessee.
They got to put up 35 points just to win the game. The Seahawks. I mean, how can they be the top 3 at all? I mean, they can't stop anybody. Anyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, watching the Seahawks play, they're too reliant on Russell Wilson to make incredible plays to win those games. And I know you can say the same thing about KC. I just think KC is more solid. KC's got that rookie running back that's just tearing it up. KC can beat you in 20 different ways. Seattle can beat you one way. And
they're going to get Bell as well. They're going to get Bell, and to go with their rookie running back, they're going to look good. He just had the best game of his career as soon as they signed Bell, by the way, so he's not ready to get the ball up. Taylor said, I said the Seahawks look good 2 weeks ago, and you guys shit on me. Taylor, very nice.
Taylor.
I'm still shitting on you, Taylor. I'm still shitting on it.
I don't think I shit on you. I've been all about the Seahawks the whole time. There are still glaring holes on the offense and defensive line. Just they make it work. Great coaching, great quarterback will take you a long way.
Yeah, Taylor, I'm going to shit on them right now. There's 4 teams in the AFC that will beat the Seahawks. And I think Pittsburgh Steelers is one of them. And they're just more balanced. They can beat you in many different ways. The Seahawks can beat you with one thing right now, and that's Russell Wilson throwing the ball down the field and making miraculous plays. And
down the field to a lot of different weapons. I mean, Pittsburgh, really, their running game isn't that stout, and Juju is not really a true number 1 wide receiver. They have another wide receiver come out of the woodwork all the time. I mean, I like Seattle's offense a lot better than Pittsburgh's. Just I like Pittsburgh's defense better.
Right now, actually, the rookie from Pittsburgh, Claypool, has come out of nowhere, and he's shown himself to be the man, the best receiver right now. He's had 3 and 4 touchdowns each week.
He's a massive dude. They said he's as big as Megatron.
Claypool is he's the new shit. He's the next generation.
Yeah.
Look him up. Remember that damn name.
No, he looks great. And Pittsburgh looks great. I mean, it's a balanced team, I mean, you got Fitzpatrick that's picking balls off and taking them back. I mean, they're a balanced team, and they got a great coach.
Go back to the great coach. Exactly. Go back to the great coach.
And so, you can't underestimate Pittsburgh. But Taylor, we're sorry for shitting on the Seahawks, buddy. But
they're fun to watch, though. The Seahawks are definitely fun to watch.
Well, listen, Russell Wilson is one of my favorite players on the planet. I love Russell Wilson. I think he's great, but at some point you're going to have to be able to run the ball a little bit, and and they give up a lot of points. They give up a lot of plays. I mean, the Dolphins went toe to toe with the Seahawks, and at this point, the Dolphins are still barely. There's some talent there beyond last year, but
think about all the Seattle wins. Every game, Seattle beat Miami tough. They beat Dallas tough. They beat Atlanta tough. Every game was they barely winning. I mean, that's not.
They
tough.
do.
That's not a good team.
Yeah. So I think the usual suspects. You got the Chiefs. You have the Titans. Are there any sleepers that you guys see that could kind of come in and just surprise everybody and go all the way?
Look out for the Raiders.
The Raiders. Yeah.
With that big offensive line.
The Raiders are built to beat the Chiefs. That's why they drafted a track team, and they got that big offensive line. And look, they beat the Chiefs. I don't necessarily trust Derek Carr all the time. He's better.
Check down, Derek.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced that he can do that, but it's a really good sleeper. Jordan, you have any sleepers?
I don't know, but talking about the Raiders right there, Derek Carr has stepped up to the plate. After they talked about getting rid of him, he's put up MVP caliber numbers this season. If you're talking about sleepers, that would be a great one. You put the Tennessee as a front runner. I would have called them more of a sleeper. There's quite a few teams, or at least a handful of teams I like better than them.
They were in the AFC Championship last year, and they didn't lose that much, and they're undefeated right now. So, I mean, they're definitely.
We haven't really mentioned the Ravens. Can they be called a sleeper since they were everybody's pick to go undefeated?
That team's massively hyped. They're massively hyped.
They're massively hyped, but I still love their chances.
Yeah, I don't until he can learn to throw from the pocket. I don't see it. I don't see it happening, but we'll see. So, Lukachi, who's your sleeper team?
My sleeper team?
Yeah.
I'll give that to the Bucks.
Well, I guess they're kind of a sleeper.
Are they a sleeper? They signed
talking about them as far as like winning a Super Bowl.
Everybody, yeah. But they're good.
The
good
sleeper dream team.
Defense.
Say it again.
The sleeper dream team. They went out and signed every all-star available. I don't know how they could be a sleeper.
Now,
they're stacked.
I just want to make this clear. This is not my comment. This is Zachary Lane's comment. He said, I won't sleep on the Dolphins. So the Dolphins
That's your Zachary Lane is your buddy. We know it now. That's your friend.
I don't know who Zach is. I have no idea
that's
who
probably
Zach is.
your alias on Facebook.
We like Zach.
Yeah. I'll say this, is that, Zach, if in 2 weeks from now they beat the Rams, I might start going, okay, there's something more to this team than I think. I think they're 7-9, 8-8, which is very respectable for the group that they have. They're going to have a whole bunch of draft picks next year. And I think that in 2 years from now, they're absolutely dangerous, but I still think they're a ways away. I think they play really hard and they're fun to watch because they're never going to quit. They're not going to do like the Cowboys did. I've seen the team get down by, 17 points and they keep fighting and they come back and they come back. They got game, but I just think there's the powerhouses in the AFC are too much for the Dolphins. I wouldn't say them as a sleeper right now. Jordan,
well, let's see what Tua does, right?
Yeah,
because it was really interesting because they get the Jets bye week Jets, right? So you get the easiest team in the league, basically back-to-back weeks with.
That's not true anymore. That's not true anymore. They just played the Jets. They just beat them 24-0. Now they have a bye week and they're playing the Rams, and then that Jets game got moved. COVID deal.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're sitting Tua then, or they're playing Tua after the bye week, I guess by design.
I don't think they're playing Tua. They just played him in garbage time.
They announced that they're starting Tua after the bye week. They announced it this morning.
Whoa! I didn't hear that.
It's Tua time. And so I thought it was by design. I hadn't heard they moved that game. That's good news. But I thought it was Jets. You had a bye week to prepare for the same shit team, and then you put Tua in. By design, this is where they wanted Tua to step in.
This is breaking news to me, and so I missed this, obviously. Wow. So wait, Tua's starting in 2 weeks for Miami.
Tua's starting after the bye week.
Wow. This is the bye week. They don't play Sunday. So
right.
Wow. Well, the two passes that he threw, he looked really good. Right?
He did, and he went and sat on the field afterwards. I think if they think he's ready, I mean, now's the time. So it's a little too early to say anything about Miami. Let me see 2 weeks of Tua.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. I mean, I don't know if it's smart, but we'll see. I mean, my thing with him is he healthy? If he's healthy enough to go, he should play. listen, he's a better quarterback than Fitzpatrick. There's no doubt about that. Even the 2 balls he threw were just, pinpoint. The guy's an incredibly accurate passer, but we'll see. It's 2 passes, right? So anyway.
If he comes back like he did in Alabama, he's the best new quarterback out there. And if you got to give him a chance and get him in the mix, it's time. I don't know what they're waiting for. It's time. Let's do it.
The with Herbert looking so good.
I actually want to watch the Dolphins now. I want to tune in and watch the Dolphins next week.
Of course you do. You definitely want to watch them more than you want to watch the fucking Cowboys. At least the Dolphins are ascending. Cowboys are descending. Into
the only problem is
I don't know how you could get any worse than what we are now, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, listen, we already talked about the Cowboys. That's going to do it for this one. Like, share, all that. Zach, Taylor, thanks for chipping in. We're going to see y'all next time. George, anything? Go Dodgers.
Yeah, it's Kershaw Day again. Go Dodgers. It's all about the Dodgers, Mookie Betts. Let's see what happens today.
Jordan?
Yeah, the year of the Tampa Bay. We got the Stanley Cup next up MLB, and then I'm liking the Bucks' chances. Sleeper City.
Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Luke?
Man, I just need the Cowboys to get it together. That's all I care about.
That's all Luke has heard the whole show. He didn't say he's like just the Cowboys. That's it. All right, peace. See y'all next time.
Later.